Are you one of the people that are Araujo out? A lot of people, there have been Araujo out ever since that game. And are you one of them? Or what do you think about that?
I think this upcoming season is kind of his last chance for me. This is his do or
Yeah.
die. If you're out of out, I can't really argue against it. The record is not the greatest, but I just think in terms of a 1v1 defender, his pace in the air, he's a very, very rare type of defender where you don't see a bunch of football. Yes, his passing is woeful, but if you notice his passing, what he's been doing since coming back in the team in February, keeping it short, concise, not risking it. He only hoops if he feels under pressure and stuff like that. So he's become more smart. Of course, his ability to do long balls, stuff like that, isn't there. But he's someone where I think one more chance. I think with the renewal as well, it's kind of hard to sell him. He had the release clause, the cheap release clause. Nobody came knocking, and that was for a reason because his valuation right now is a bit low after what he did in the big moment, decisive moment, headline moment. But I would give him one more chance. If he just hit me again, like Carlos, I'll cut my ties and
Yeah.
I will
You know,
let him go completely. But
you know
I
what it
still
is,
think he
bro?
has something in him.
You know where it is, bro, guys. And listen, I know, Mark, you're in the chat saying that you don't rate Araujo, but you know where it is, bro. When Araujo won the La Liga, we already spoke about Xavi's La Liga that he won. Araujo was amazing, bro. Like, I don't think anybody in the world, he was a top five. He was a top five center back in the world, right? At the end of Ronald Koeman and the Xavi Hernandez era. So I'm like, it's just Hansi Flick system. If he can just learn to adapt in the high line, bro, Ronald Araujo, guys, the reason why I'm Ter Stegen out, because he's been washed for this whole decade. He's been washed. But it's different with Ronald Araujo for me because we've seen that defender just 2 years ago. And I'm like, where has he gone? And I think that he just got to adapt, bro. I know a lot of people, they're out on him. And I'm at the point where this is his last year because I can't keep defending this. By the way, I'm a guy
Who
who,
for Ter Stegen?
huh?
For Ter Stegen, you said?
No, I said Ter Stegen. I can't defend Ter Stegen.
Oh, okay.
He's been
Yeah,
trashed for
yeah.
how long, bro? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? How many big moments does he have in his career? You have to go back to 2017 when he saved like a breakaway against Edison Cavani. That's the last time Ter Stegen has a big moment for Barcelona, really, in the UCL. Bro,
Mm-hmm.
Ronald Araujo, in my opinion, dude, just 2 years ago, people were calling him a top five center back. Like, I'm not selling, bro. And if I was to sell, I want better offers. What are we gonna get for 25 million? So in my
No.
opinion, it's his last year. Last year of, if he's horrible this year, if he's mediocre this year, I'll cut my ties. I can take the L. I don't mind. I don't
Same.
love a player more than the club, but I think that there's something in there. There's still a player in there that I'm like, yo, if he gets it right, he's faster than Inigo. He's stronger than Inigo. He's faster and stronger than Cubarsi. He
If
just
he
is.
could pass, if he could at least have a little bit of range and IQ in terms of his passing, he'd be unbelievable. But that really hinders his game. But he's so elite when it comes to defending and the mindset of a defender where it makes up for it a little bit. But with passing being so heavily needed in this system that we play, that's why
Yeah, we do.
Inigo's left foot is ridiculous, and that's why of course Xavi signed him. That's where his frailties come in a bit. But hopefully, the season with again he's gonna have preseason. Didn't have preseason last time. He only came back in like December and then was rushed back in the team because Inigo got injured and stuff like that. So preseason, fully fresh, ready to go. Hopefully, we'll see a different
And you know
Araujo.
where it is, bro? Can I be real? And this is the
Mm-hmm.
last thing before we moved on to the transfers, right? My problem with it is that I feel like Barcelona, sometimes our fan base, we're so starved for a UCL that we just make scapegoats. And I think that Ronald Araujo, you can only blame him for 2 of the 7 goals. What happened to the other 5 goals? Nobody talks about. Danny
Mm-hmm.
Olmo is one of my favorite players. Bro, he was ghosting. Bro, Danny Olmo had that turnover for the first Lautaro goal in the second leg. Bro, Cubarsi, didn't you learn your lesson against Benfica? You got sent off. He gives away a penalty when we can't have that. Just let the guy take on his weak foot. So I feel like there's so many goals, and then we conceded 3 at home. That's just not acceptable, and that's not on Araujo. So I feel like we still conceded 5 goals without Araujo that nobody wants to talk about. That's why I legit made a YouTube channel for legit moments like these. Hold up. Araujo is the reason why. What happened to the other 5 goals? I'm just asking. Listen, but I mean, that's just my take on it. I mean, do you agree with that or do you disagree?
Yeah, of course, it's not down to him. The issue is like last second moment, the headline and everything. That's why it's gonna be a bit more hindered, a bit more affected. But you're right. The 3 goals we conceded in the Montjuic game was embarrassing. In the 3 goals that we
Unacceptable.
scored were world class. So it's a bit of a catch and choose situation. Even the penalty we conceded, everything was easily preventable. We of course scored world class goals. Whether it be the Eric Garcia header, the Rafinha goal from the corner, all these things, and all their goals came from stupid mistakes, which was a bit annoying. But yeah, that's why I don't put 100% of the blame on Araujo. I'll give him like a solid 50-60%.
He does blame. Bro, but hold up. Gerard Martin got away with a disaster class defensively.
Yeah, the 2 assists.
Because he was crying. Just because he cried. Bro, guys, come on, bro. I'm not an emotional guy. Gerard Martin, you let Dumfries have 2 legacies back-to-back games on you. I'm like, and then you see Dumfries in the UCL final, couldn't do nothing.